My name is Kiran Rana, and this is, I think, the second time I'm telling Silk Road stories. Some of them overlap with Indian stories, but I don't know a heck of a lot of Indian stories, so I thought this is a good place to pick up some new stories. So in every country, you know, there are heroes, heroines too, who are special. They're either funny, or they're strong, or they're incredibly wise, or incredibly foolish, but they have a habit of solving problems. And so, in this case, in this story from Turkmenistan, the hero is a tiny little boy. I was sort of sorting through words like humanoid and so on. And that's all really disrespectful. So a tiny little boy, you know, maybe a little bit like the Tom Thumb legend. So, and his name is Yarty-Gulok. Want to try that? Yarty-Gulok. So this story may or may not be true, but the way it goes is that there was an old man and an old woman, and they dearly wanted a son. They had no children. And they dearly, dearly wanted a son. And one day, out of their camel's ear came a voice saying, "Hello, hello, I'm willing to be your son." And so they reached in, the old man reached in and took him out, and there he was. I mean, a perfect little Turkmeni boy, you know, with his skull half shaven. No, I'm not shaven. And his hair out in two plaits, perfect braids to the side. Tiny little guy, but completely, perfectly, beautifully formed, and willing to be their son. And so they were thrilled. And they said, yes! And because he was half the size of a camel's ear, they named him Yarty-Gulok, which means half an ear. And Yarty, they just adored him, and they fed him, and they clothed him, and the neighbors all loved him, and he was just this feisty, optimistic, bright, energetic young guy. He wanted to help everybody. He never saw a problem he didn't want to solve. He never saw someone in distress he didn't want to help. He was just a joy. The neighbors all fed him and clothed him as well, and always welcomed him into their homes. So the old man and woman were in seventh heaven. I don't know if they had seven heavens in Turkmenistan, but if they did, that's where he was. I mean, they were. So this is one of the stories of his adventures. Yarty is returning from a nearby village where he'd gone to help somebody, and you know, he's tiny. I mean, he's that big, and so it's a long road for him, and it's hot, and he's tired. And then on the road ahead, he sees this beautiful horse, sort of nibbling, you know, the dryish grass by the side of the road, and then there's a big, handsome Jigit. A Jigit is like a hero or a champion or an extraordinary horseman, in some cases even a warrior. So this is a big Jigit, and he's adjusting the horse's straps and bridle and, you know, cinch and all that, and Yarty thinks to himself, oh, by the way, I'm going to try voices here, so don't be alarmed. So Yarty thinks to himself, oh my God, I can get a ride on that horse. That horse can hold both of us. So he grabs a hold of the horse's tail and he climbs up and he sits down on the back of the saddle. The Jigit finishes sort of adjusting everything. He doesn't see Yarty. He leaps into the saddle. He gives one tug at the reins and the horse takes off, you know, like a bolt of lightning, and they're flying. And Yarty is incredibly thrilled, and he's saying, you know, to himself, my God, I should have done this earlier. This is wonderful. And then he notices that the Jagit is not heading toward where any of the villages are, but he's heading over into the Karakum desert, which is just only sand and nothing but sand. And he gets a little alarmed and he sort of goes, hey, wait a minute, where are you going? You go into that desert, we'll get lost in all the sand, we'll both die. And Jagit didn't know he was there. He gets a shock and he turns around. And, then he sees Yarty. He says, hey, Yarty, man, I didn't see you. Oh, hey, was I going too fast? And Yarty said, no, I loved it. But you're going to the desert. Are you going to just run around in the sand? Because if you are, please drop me at home. And the Jagit says, no, man, I can't do that. And Yarty says, why not? Well, see, I've made a vow that I'm not going to go meet people, go to any village till, like this sadness that I'm carrying, this big trouble in my heart, till I can leave that behind in the desert and it's good and truly done. And he says, you got trouble? What kind of trouble? Oh man, it's big trouble. I can't talk about it, man. No, I can't talk about it. Yarty said, no, you should talk about it. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to help you. Says, well, I don't think so, man. But okay, there's this woman, man. Her name is Gul Asal, and, oh God, she is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. But see, like, her master, she's a servant, and her master is like, He's the richest man in the village, and he's a miser, and he won't let me even see her, man. We had to see each other in secret, and he's just not going to let me marry her. And it's just, no, it's really bad, man. In fact, I think you should get off the horse. I just got to go into the desert. Don't be a coward, man. You're such a big guy. You got such a little heart. Just think of all the other people. Can't you help them? He says, all the people are miserable in my village, man. It's probably just better if I go away. No, listen. I'll help you. We'll get your gulasso, and we'll help all the other people, and we'll gather everyone's troubles, and we'll put them on 7 camels, and we'll take them so far into the desert they'll never find their way back. So the Jagit was like, whoa. Okay. Let's go to the village. So they arrive to the village, and Yarty looks around him and he kind of blinks. He's never seen such a miserable place in his life. The first person they meet is this old woman. She's bent over double from years and years of trouble, and she said, oh, all the trouble in our lives comes from that place behind that big, tall, whitewashed wall. And a little boy comes by and he whispers, and he looks around and no one's listening. My daddy said that all our troubles come from that place behind the big, tall, whitewashed wall. And then they walk on a little bit, or they ride on a little bit, and there's a house, and the men are all swearing and the women are all weeping. And so Yarty says, did somebody die? What's happening there? No, man. See, like, they owed the money lender guy money, and they couldn't pay him, and he foreclosed, man. He's taken all their stuff. You're gonna kick him out of the house. Soon they'll be homeless. Then soon after that, they wanted anything to eat. They wanted anywhere to live. See, I'm telling you, this is a miserable place, man. I should just go out back into the desert. Oh, come on, we can figure it out. Then he looks at the house and he thinks, why don't we go in there? Oh, nobody can get in there, man. You see how tall the wall is? And there's broken glass on top, and there are big secure doors. There's dogs, savage dogs inside, and his servants are watching the place day and night. I mean, a bird couldn't get in, a weasel couldn't get in. How do you think we get in? You're really a bit of a downer, But, okay, let me think about it. My father says that if a man is afraid should just give up and die. And I'm not afraid of a fight. So we'll think about it. So that night, Yarty thought about it and made a plan. The next morning, the moneylender started his routine, which was early in the morning. He would go down into the cellar and he would light an oil lamp and he would look at all the chests full of money that he had stacked in the cellar. And then he would add the money that he'd just received. So he was just putting the latest gold coins into his 100th sack. And this was from the foreclosure, the day before. And he filled them in and they just fit and he tied the little knot and he put them in a chest and he turned 7 locks on it and he was kind of, because this was a man, he only lived for money. Birds singing, brooks babbling, sunshine in the spring, forget it. Tears, weeping, mourning from people that he was crushing made him happy. And money made him happy. So the guy was feeling pretty good, but he heard this little rustling, in the corner. He turned around, and there was a little mouse over there. And the mouse said, oh, you should forget what you're doing, because there's been a rainfall of gold in the desert, and soon everybody is going to be just as rich as you. So the moneylender took off his shoe and threw it at the mouse, and the mouse disappeared. But like a spider came down from the ceiling on, its beautiful spider thread, and he said, hey man, you shouldn't do that. That mouse is a friend of yours, and he was telling you the truth. There's been rain of gold in the desert, and if you get out there now, you can fill out more bags than anyone else and still be rich. And the moneylender thought, whoa, no, that can't be true. Yeah, you go ahead. He thought he was seeing things. And then there was a big black cockroach wandering kind of drunkenly on the wall. And the cockroach said, they're both telling the truth, man. Soon every beggar in the street is going to be just as rich as you. And this guy began to have, he began to shake a little. He thought this may be true. And then the mouse reappeared and the mouse said, we have our little small critter networks. And that's how we heard about it long before the humans get to know about it, because it's way up in the desert. We found out about it, and I'm telling you, if you get up there now, you could get some of it. Then the spider came down and he said, yeah, if you take some bags now and get there, you can fill those bags, and then you can take the gold you got here and just go away somewhere else, and it'll be worth 3 times what anybody else has got. Whoa, maybe I should do that. He didn't wait and ask any more questions. He started to climb up the stairs. He was going to ask his servants, to come with him. And then he thought, wait a minute. These servants are a lot bigger than I am. If they come to the desert with me, they're just going to take all the gold for themselves. But how do I get out there? I don't have a camel. I don't have a horse. I don't have an ass. I just have to take my chances. I can't afford these things. I'm a miser. I have a reputation to maintain. So he snuck out the secret side door from his, behind that wall. And who should he see in front of his eyes in broad daylight in the middle of the street but our handsome Jiggy? And he looks at him and he says, I think I recognize. Oh yeah, I recognize you. You owe me 100 shekels. Well, what I'll do for you? If you take me into the desert, I'll forgive you half of that. And the Jiggy says, hey man, today nobody would take you into the desert for 1,000 shekels. Well, I'll give you 2,000 chengars. I wouldn't take you there for 5,000 chengars. But I tell you what, you let me marry Gul Asal, and I'll take you for free. Oh, you can take Gul Asal, you can take anybody you want, just get me into the desert. Jump on. So he jumped onto the back of the horse, and they rode off to the desert, and they rode, and they rode, and they rode, and they rode. And they rode, and they rode, and they rode, and then they rode some more, and then they rode, and then they really rode, and they were in the desert, and it was starting to get dark, and then they were in the middle of the desert, and there was nothing but sand all around, waves of sand, as far as the eyes could see. And as you pulled the horse up and said, "Get off." What? Where are we? Where are we? Where's the gold? And to his surprise, he heard the mouse's voice saying, "You wanted to come into the desert. We're in the desert. You're here." And then the spider whispered, "Just dig under the sand. You'll find gold. All the gold you want." And then the cockroach. Right? The cockroach had to be there too. Yeah, lots of gold under the sand, man. You got what you want, right? And you won't be trouble for the villagers anymore. So just get off. And at that moment, the miser looked up and he noticed this tiny little boy sitting on the Jagit's shoulder, and all the voices were coming from him. He gave a start and fell off the back of the horse, fell onto the thing. And Yarty, it was Yarty, right? Yarty says, "All right, there you are, in the sand, and all the troubles of the village are right here. We're going to leave them behind. Let's go." And he said, "No, well, you take me with you. I don't see any gold." He said, "You don't take trouble back after you've just gotten rid of it." And then before the old miser could say anything else, the Jiggy gave this kind of whoop, and the horse just flew off, and they took off back to the village. So the old miser, he kind of, stood there for a minute, kind of dazed, and then he went to one area and he started shoveling sand and he didn't find anything. He went to the other area, he started shoveling sand, he didn't see anything. He went straight in front of him and started shoveling sand, and of course there was nothing there. And so when it sort of really got to him, there's not going to be any gold under the sand, he started plodding homeward. He walked and he walked, and he walked and he walked. He walked some more, and then he walked. And he walked the whole first day, and then he walked the whole second day, and his feet were getting tired, like the guy in Dana's story. He walked and walked. And then on the third day, while he was walking, there arose this big black sandstorm. And the sand buried the old miser, and he was never heard from again. Meanwhile, Yarty and the Jiggy were galloping on their way home, right? And the Jiggy, he was so thrilled, man. He was singing. He really couldn't sing. He shouldn't sing, but he was singing, "Oh, Gul Asal, I'm coming for you right now, Gul Asal." And Yarty was like, "Oh man. But, he gave him a ride and, being a generally good guy and helped out, so Yarty bored. The first thing they did when they got to the village was the Jagit ran to Gul Asal and told her the whole story, and then threw himself at his knees and said, "You're free to marry anyone you want." Anyone you want. She'd been in love with him, and she said, yeah. Okay, no, I'm gonna marry you, it's cool. So this guy was like over the moon, and he was really thrilled. He went back to Yarty. He and Yarty went and liberated the miser's gold, And then they went out and told all the villagers, and they told the villagers, we're going to share the gold with you. And then 2 days later, there was this amazing, beautiful wedding between the handsome Jigit and the beautiful Gul Asal, and everybody in that village. Oh, wait, no, I can't say they lived happily. Oh, wait, there's a little detail I forgot. When Gul Asal met Yarty, right? She gave this she gave this loud scream. And both the Jigit and Yarty sort of, jumped back 5 paces. But then she explained that she had a tiny little girl who had lived with her, who had come to her parents when Gul Asal was quite young, but then the parents died of heartbreak because they had forfeited everything to the miser. So Gul Asal had kept this little girl secret in her life, putting her in little boxes and so on, so that the miser would never find out about her and take her away. And then for the first time, whoever was there saw Yarty was kind of dumbstruck. He was at a loss for words because he just met Ksenia. And Ksenia was, she was a good Turkmeni young woman, and so she immediately called Yarty elder brother. But and I know that didn't last, right? I mean, pretty soon they got together and they just had the most amazing adventures in life together. But their favorite thing was to come back to this village because she was the girl of the village after all. And all the villagers would be so thrilled to see them, and they would celebrate them, and they would all tell different versions of the story of how this wee little Yarty-Gulok fooled and got rid of the miserable miser.